And there we are again. Oh, this beautiful screen glitches. Okay, let's move that to the side. And get those glitches away. Get them away! I guess I just need to wipe the screen with a window. So, what's with a general system overload project? Okay, we can open that later. I don't know if there was a program name like that. VR, can you please make another 2D studio time with a keyboard and the stupid sounds? Yeah, I should. I know. I need to find the time to do that. Wow, that's loud! But yeah, this is something I've been working on. Let me just turn down the volume, because this is blowing me out of my seat otherwise. It is still a little bit laggy, so I guess I gotta maybe throw out some of the mastering chain plugins, because they are the most CPU heavy in this case. Maybe just reduce it a little bit here, so this is a little bit easier on the processor. Okay, this should be working fluently now. So this is a drop I made together with a friend. So yeah, sag etwas Deutsches. Habe ich ja jetzt. Someone asked me to say something German. So yeah, this is the thing. Yeah, exactly, the project with Autodrive. And now to the why does it sound so full? How to make it sound full? So first of all, we got the drums. They are not that full. The only thing that kind of makes it a little bit, like, fills the thing with noise is that huge reverb on the snare, but we also got the crash cymbals here. Like, there's always this ride playing in the back. Gish, 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 just all the time. Just kind of fills everything with noise. And then we have these crash and splashes here, which are always on the kick and the snare. Here the snare again, so... So this creates even more noise and background stuff. Then we have this arpeggio, which is playing which is almost playing all the time. I just deleted it in these first parts because there we have this little silent break, and I wanted that to be absolutely silent. So this is playing a little. And it kind of fits with this weird line. It kind of fits to the main bass because it does. So it plays at the exact same speed. Furthermore, for this bass to sound interesting, I have this percussion sample, which is recorded from a broken washing machine across the street. We have a washing center there, and I recorded that during one of my washing sessions, because that machine, when it turned into turbo mode, it would just start, and I recorded that and put it on the bass sound here because it makes it sound a little bit more, a little bit heavier. I don't know. Also later on, the bass goes half the speed, but the percussion sample from the broken washing machine is still double the speed, so it sounds like kind of cool effect there. So that's why the washing machine is so important. Should all use more washing machines in our tracks. So yeah, there we were. We had the drums, all those crashes, this little arpeggio in the back. I think there's even this tiny Any JP6K playing a very high note in the back. You can't really hear that. I think that's just for cosmetical reasons. Yeah, then... Oh yeah, I got my fake reverb that I like to use a lot in the last few tracks. It's just a square wave here, which is quite short, has a lot of reverb on it, and it just sounds like this. So like its attack, its little blip is almost drowned out by everything else, but its reverb, I think it's even changing pitch. It kind of creates some sort of room. And with all the other elements, it kind of just fills up empty space, kind of creates some sort of background atmosphere. I don't know. I just thought that would be cool. That's a thing I invented myself, sort of. I don't know if some other people do that. Let's see, what is this? This is a very quiet synth. Yeah, you don't really hear that. So all of these things already fill up everything quite a lot. Then we have all the bass sounds. Oh yeah, we should maybe turn on the bass. And on the offbeats we have these, as well as real strings playing too. Yeah, and there is a trumpet on the first hit. Those are pretty much all elements already, but I guess what makes them all stick together even more is the compression and everything. I didn't even do any big group channels here. I've just got this one sidechain channel where everything goes through except for the kick and the snare. So sidechain channel just sounds like this. And I got a little multiband compression here at the top to not make, like, to keep the high frequencies in their boundaries so nothing suddenly jumps at your ears. In that range. Putting that multiband compression on a group channel is quite cool, because if you got multiple things playing, they add up and the multiband compression kind of adjusts to that. So if lots of things are playing, it's compressing a lot in the regions where it's necessary, and if not many things are playing, it's not compressing. So yeah, that kind of glues the things together. Also the main bass, let me check the main bass. Maybe that's interesting, like what kind of patch is. As you notice, we made a funny here. Yeah, this is going through a bunch of effect channels, I think. Let me just find them. Yeah, we got two reverbs. The first one is quite short, so this is just I can't solo it so well, but yeah. We have the second reverb here, which is just being automated with this LFO. So it's always diving up after each kick and snare hit. I'll just turn it up really loud so you hear. So I thought that would kind of create a little bit more atmosphere to get some reverb on the bass, but sidechain it like crazy with this LFO tool. Yeah. Yeah, give Maze Fish 9000 a little chance, just tiny bit of a chance. So this patch, this main bass, is FM synthesis again. This LFO is bringing in a little bit of noise here, modulating the FM strength, and just like in the patch we did in the previous project, the modulating oscillator is being pitch modulated by this wave. So we could immediately change this to go upwards or downwards, just how we like. So this would be a variation. Kind of cool to have that flexibility here to change that. So these two are just, they are not going through any filter. They're getting a tiny amount of this. A bit of drive, multiband compression, semi-queuing, and they get a bunch of effects: Camel Crusher, OTT, vocodecs, some multiband, again, lots of multiband compressing. This EQing setting, which is pretty much how most of my EQs look like, taking out stuff in the muddy region, because almost every sound has something going on in that region. You'll be able to see that if you just go through patches on Massive or any synth and go through every patch, if it's a bass sound, if it's a synth sound, there's always stuff going on here, especially with melody stuff, because like the root keys of melody nodes are always in kind of this region. So always take away a little bit there. Especially I'm taking away between 100 and 200 hertz here, because that's where the kick and the snare are supposed to be. Like the bottom of the kick, of course, the very low end is at 50 hertz, but it also has this little thump at 120, 30, or maybe that's just my room being really bad for acoustics, but I like to remove a little bit there. And 200 hertz is where the bottom of the snare hits the push. And yeah, and this just needed some high frequencies. Then there's a little bit reverb. No, there's no reverb on this. Oh, this is important. Yeah, this reverb is being used later on. This is being faded in, because back here we have this little break where it sounds like the bass is going sort of from the front of the microphone to the back of the room, because there is this reverb on it, which is quite short. And the mix is just going from 0 to 100%, so it sounds like the bass is going back. And then we have this other sound made by Autodrive that we imported here, which just comes from 100% reverb to 0% again to kind of come back to the front. And then we got that big hit again, and the bass is there. Yes, so we thought that was a nice idea for a fill. Also happens in the second half with a different speed. And for the second drop, we would pretty much turn everything into triplets, so it would not be but more like kind of be the thing for the second drop. Still to do. Ich habe schon was Deutsches gesagt, hör auf mich das zu fragen. Was it awkward, interesting, etc. meeting Zomboy? It was cool, because he's a super nice guy. He's great to talk with, and he's cool. I told him that I'm singing in one of his songs, and that was quite funny, because he then later on played that song live as well and was like, "Nah, you're singing there," because I think it's in Mind Control. That's where he used a vocal that I made for a sample pack for Freaky Loops back then, and yeah, so that was quite funny. Woohoo! Yes. Any other interesting sounds? Yeah, I made a little layer for this guy here because I thought he was not strong enough, so there is this weird nonsense behind that. It's just a little reverb on a weird massive squeak sound, and I took away most of the low, so this just adds weird noise to, but makes it larger, especially because this is very stereo wide. I think on the patch I turned this all the way up, and this is a little bit detuned, and the main bass is not detuned, it's not stereo wide, has no polyphonic left right thing going on. So this is kind of the layering I do. If I layer basses then like that, then I have one main sound which is very strong, but it's monophonic and it needs some additional stereo support, and then I make some weird other stuff that I EQ heavily, so it only has a limited range of frequency and supports the main sound. I think there's even some... Yeah, even the washing machine is on this guy too, to make the attack stronger. In a sort of ride bell sound here too. Why not? That bass thing that rises during the drop is amazing. Yoo-hoo, thanks. Could you show us the Sugar Rush project file? I need to search for that. That would take ages, I think, because it's somewhere. And it probably won't be named Sugar Rush, I think. It would be named Cool Electro Thing, or Interesting, or ASDF, or I don't know. I'd have to search for like large project files because it's a finished project, and that's how I would probably find it, but it would take ages. Did you ever play an instrument? Yes, I play keyboard. Well, piano, church, organ, keyboard, everything that has keys, sort of. I had some piano lessons when I was younger, and took a lesson, like a course in playing the church organ, actually. So if you want me to play at your wedding, I can do that. It would be funny. I would play church interpretations of Scary Monsters and Ice Stripes and such. That would be cool. Maybe we can try that out later. Project management with VR. No, please not. That's gonna be the worst. Maybe the last interesting sound in here is this guy. Because as you hear, it's just one thing that continues here. But it has four different sounds. Oh, I can move that down here. It actually has 4 different stages, sort of. I did the same thing. Just did pretty much the same thing as on the sound I showed you earlier. So this is modulating the FM depth and the wavetable position, and there's a filter here which is being turned on and off. So kind of giving the sound 3 different sounds. And in conjunction with that other sound, it just, yeah, it sounds like there's 4 different sounds playing, even though it's just 2 patches. Kind of saving on serums here. Another interesting thing are the little percussive things, like, yeah, this, like that stuff, and those are actually self-made, sort of. I took percussion samples from self-recorded stuff as well as from sample packs too, and put them all into Slayer, that percussive processing program, and then added vocodecs and added tons of other stuffs and got these out. And those are just incredibly awesome for exactly fills like that. Yeah, that's a key. This key sample is actually in my sample pack. I find it very useful. You can find it on Prime Loops. I think it's on the kick drum here to make it sound like shattering glass for a short moment. Yeah. Even got some weird offbeat samples here. Bitch. Yeah, why not? Because you always need them offbeats, but they're not that present here. Okay, let's close that. Don't save, I didn't change anything. Because I wanted to show you something. Oh yeah, some of the interesting samples. If you joined just recently, I made a template project that I will always start with now, because it has everything I need. It's got 1 serum, a massive drum, sub bass, sidechain with trigger already set up, 3 groups, and a reverb channel for sending. So yeah, and I wanted to show you some of the percussion samples I did, because those are quite interesting. Let me show you. Maybe I'll put some of those into a next sample pack or something. Here we have, yeah, a bunch of things. Like, I was at a friend's place in his kitchen and recorded just everything with my handheld recorder, like hitting frying pans and such, and some of these are already quite processed, but we can take a listen. Like these reverb hits, they are all frying pans being hit with something, and then I just put reverb on it, so this sounds like. already pitched up or pitched down. Yeah, this is funny. This is a radiator which has some kind of yeah. I'm just going with I think it was a wooden spoon over over a radiator and recording that, and then pitching it down and putting vocodics on it, and especially at the end of the sample it just sounds like a weird transformer. Yeah, also the... Yeah, sounds from the kitchen, why not? Yeah, I would love to make a full track out of those. And then I even post-processed those with even more vocodecs, or putting those in Slayer and then getting them out again. And those are quite interesting. I like that trashy snare. Finding those names, this is just really random names that I associate with those kind of sounds. The most important thing is that I have some tight ones and some weird delayed ones here that have some kind of double hit kind of sound, and other short ones. So these percussion ones are pretty much just samples from a sample pack, like percussion samples from a Leviathan or Prime Loops pack, and then putting those in Slayer and layering them like crazy and putting vocodics on those, and then it sounds like... Yeah. So that's a cool way to get sort of self-made, but yeah, processed percussion samples for any kind of stuff. And yes. Hello, Virtual Riot. Where can I find amazing vocal like these? Vocal? Those weren't vocals. What the hell? Did you hear vocals? Do you hear voices in your head? No. What's Slayer? Yeah, Slayer is a huge tool that I adore. This is like I feel like I'm making just like I'm just advertising these things, but they are that awesome. Slayer is Slayer is reactor ensemble made by Twisted Tools, who just made for the latest installment of Complete by Native Instance. They just made a dedicated plugin for that as well. And this is a sample player, but plays 8 samples at the same time. I'll just do a quick explanation because we did that on a different stream as well. It plays 8 samples at the same time. You can choose those samples in sort of a mapping here. These keys don't mean anything. This is just like, this is selecting which of these samples is being played. This is the starting delay, this is the pitch, this is the pan, and this is the loudness of those samples. And we can just randomize all those features. Like now it's playing 8 samples at the same time. You can also import your own ones, of course. And what I can do is I can randomize which sample is supposed to be played. Those samples are all pre-installed. It comes with this little library here. But now I'm just randomizing which sample is supposed to be played, but I can also randomize everything at once. Let me do that. So this way you get tons of weird layered percussive sounds. Huge stuff. Especially when you put in your own sounds, and you can now put some effects on this, like let's put vocodecs on that, because it's just great to have vocodecs on this. And then maybe equalize this, because vocodecs makes quite a mess in the low section here with its sound goodizer. But yeah. And if the samples are too long for you, because like some of them have reverb, and especially with vocodics or strong compression on them, that reverb's gonna be super loud. Like, yeah, this takes ages to... This takes ages to finish, so we have this decay knob for all samples to just have really short. That's cool. Oh, there's a nice crunch on the left or on the right. I don't know if I have my... Yeah, for me it's on the right, but I don't know if I have this all connected correctly. That's actually a really nice snare. No, there is a kick, sort of. But yeah, you have tons of options here. You can put in a filter for every single one of those, put in envelopes, you can even grain stretch them, like... do really crazy stuff. Or reverse them. Here you can reverse. This is cool. So just imagine putting in your own self-made sounds and then you get out quite a lot of interesting stuff that you can then resample and use again, just like in that track. Yes. More questions. It's on the left. Oh, okay. So I have my speakers not set up correctly. No, you don't have them. If I move this to the right, this is on the right. And this is on my left. Just as it says in Cubase. So this should be alright. Oh, though it's running through... Yeah. I have this weird setup. It's running through a different computer. Maybe there it's changing... Maybe there it's changing the left-right setting because I have the streaming thing here is really weird. I made a picture about that, so if you're interested how this stream is actually working, I made a little chart for that. This is how it's running. So yeah, I'm using a second laptop to make everything work. Badoosh. Okay, back to the thing. Questions. If you need someone to mod, I'll be willing to. Oh, Bungie, yeah, you'd be sort of qualified. Mike is doing a great job as well. You got an estimated release time frame for the EP. If you have an EP in the work, I don't know. I still have to finish the next EP. The thing you just heard, like the collaboration with Autodrive, is probably going to come on the EP. Yeah. When I finish it. I gotta finish it! Ah. Gotta get stuff done. Okay, furthermore, I got this nice keyboard connected here and we can play around with that. Even